We're back, people. What is up? First draft video of the year. Dolphins having a rough start to the season. Wanted to make this video for Dolphins fans to have like early names to watch in this draft cycle. Guys that are going to be like top 5, top 10. Now it is very early. A lot of things can change. But just wanted to get into this because, I love the draft season. It's starting early this year. So first name, probably a lot of you actually know this one. Rueben Bain Jr., Miami Hurricanes edge defender. In my opinion, the top guy currently in this draft class. I don't even know if it's really even that close at this point. Should be the first non-QB off the board. Definitely someone I feel even after like combine, all the Senior Bowls take place, he's still gonna be someone that's gonna be definitely go high in this class. But around 6'3", 270, 275, he has all the skill sets that just translate really well at the next level for an edge guy. Plays with a lot of power. I think he can hold up with NFL power right away. Has enough athleticism at his size. I think good first step explosiveness. He has a high floor to play as a run defender because he's very tough to move at the point of attack. He can set the edge. He can make impact plays versus the run. Just very active as that part as a player, so that also helps him get on the field. He has some scheme versatility with his alignment. Can play hand in the dirt, 4-point stance, get down as like a 5 tech 4-eye, but also can literally stand up, plays like a wide 9, and feel comfortable cornering the edge. He's very good at cornering. So much to like with his game. Like a guy that I definitely feel comfortable goes very, very high in this draft class. Had to get him down instantly. And someone that I think if the Dolphins were picking top 5 and they weren't taking quarterback, he would be like definitely a top option. Another name to go over, not someone I necessarily think. I think the Dolphins could end up taking a player like this if he went like slightly outside the top 10. It's Caleb Downs, the Ohio State safety. He is a top 5 prospect in this class, but I think the safety position is one that ends up, falling a little farther because I just think how the NFL values it. And the Dolphins are going to have a ton of needs. I'm a big best player available person. Dolphins have so many needs, they should just be taking BPA anyways. Maybe there's certain positions they don't have to take, but Caleb Downs, not a super necessity, but just such a smart, athletic player, like always making the right decision, always in the right spot, very consistent tackler, just a guy that you got to mention here if you're talking about top prospects. Names to know: Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State, around that 6 foot, 200, 205 range. Just very, very good player. Huge fan of him. So next player that's definitely up there in this draft class is Peter Woods, Clemson defensive tackle. I actually do think this is a possibility. I know the Dolphins just took a defensive tackle, but it's still something that they could be looking at. Maybe not a necessity as well, not something that they should prioritize. But if they are at the top, say they're picking like the 8th range, and say like a few quarterbacks already went, then like guys like Rueben Bain went, and Peter Woods is best player available, he becomes an option. Dude is a stack and shed machine. This guy is violent, man. He has some of the most violent stacks and sheds I've ever seen, and he's also like a very good athlete, just a very good athlete and powerful. Someone that I think could have pretty quick success. And like the way he shed some of these college offensive linemen make me feel like he would be able to shed like some offensive linemen at the NFL level pretty quickly. And we know the Dolphins need some run defense help, so it wouldn't be the worst pick in the world. Plus, we have no idea what, like, so much can change, and like also we don't even know what the coaching staff could look like. It could be the same, it could be completely different. That also changes things. I'm just kind of trying to name players that will be there near the top that I think will be in consideration, at least at this point. So yeah, Peter Woods to get out the defensive tackle. Now, some of the other top prospects in this area are wide receivers. There's even a running back. I'm not going to talk about them, but there are some good players there. I actually think the receiver class is pretty underrated. I don't think the Dolphins need to take a receiver early, but taking a receiver in next year's draft class, I do think is a must, but not necessarily, first round. But there are some good players up there. I can at least start their names: Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Jeremiah Love, Carnell Tate. Jeremiah Love's the running back, Carnell Tate at receiver. Just some names out there that I think, pretty good players, but not really need to spend too much time on them. Let's get into tackles, offensive tackles. So in my opinion, a pretty weak offensive tackle class, which kind of sucks for Miami. The Dolphins are looking for a right tackle, and where they do kind of luck out is I do think the top 2 tackles as of right now are right tackles. Now, where do they go is the interesting part, because I don't think I would take either top 5, and even top 10 I think is a little high, but top 10 is a little more reasonable. If you're picking around 10, it's a little more understandable. And one Spencer Fano from Utah, and then Francis Moigao Goa Maui Goa. I don't know how to say his name. From Miami, you guys might know him. Maui Goa. Definitely another name. He plays right tackle. I think the one with him for Francis is I think NFL teams might see him as a guard. At least some people might see him as a guard. So that could push him down in the draft a little bit, just because guards typically go later. Now, if they feel comfortable with him playing tackle, that's fine. I think Spencer Fano from Utah is definitely a tackle. He's got the size and build and athleticism for it. While Francis Mauigoa definitely has more of a type of a in-betweener build that can play guard or tackle. Both kind of similar players. They're very different builds, with size and weight, but both are similar in the sense of like very good run blockers, like very effective people mover in the run game, and then have some inconsistencies in pass pro that make me give a little hesitation to them. I do think like Spencer Fano from Utah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right either. Might be Fano. If Mike McDaniel was still the head coach, or if they brought in a play caller that ran a similar system to McDaniel, I could see him loving this kid. Super good athlete, really good blocker out in space, and like he is a weapon as a run blocker, like a actual weapon. He stays attached. He leg drives people. He moves them out of the way. Some inconsistent hand usage in pass pro, like we talked about, that I think he needs to work on. But that would be kind of protecting the Dolphins system. And the Dolphins do need a right tackle just because of the Austin Jackson situation. He's never healthy. It would actually be, definitely, depending on where they pick, like I think right tackle could be a definite possibility in this first round, to kind of pair with Patrick Paul on the opposite side. And like you can then have your bookend tackles for many years to come, and you wouldn't have to potentially, worry about those spots. And I think those are two names to definitely keep an eye on just because of need for Miami. And I think those are also the top two guys that I could see, especially if they test well, go top 10. I think the offseason will be important for them. They are guys that are kind of in that top 10 area. Like if you ask certain draft guys, they'll have them top 10. Certain guys might have them more towards in the 20 range. I think the offseason will really be make or break for those types of players. Another player I want to mention who's been a huge riser this year, Arvell Reese, Ohio State linebacker, and he is an absolute beast. In my opinion, a top 5 prospect. Will he go top 5 in the draft? Probably not, because he's an off-ball linebacker, and QBs always get pushed up. Reese is so good, man. Like this guy is like your ideal modern NFL linebacker, and he can also play some edge. Like there's a little bit of like he plays some edge for Ohio State in rushes. Like I'm watching this guy bull rush college tackles on like decent teams and like put them on their back. Like that's how violent he is at the point of attack. He sets the edge when he's in those spots. He plays with pretty good instincts. He's a very good athlete. So like the combination of like sideline to sideline range with the ability to play with his level of violence and play strength is exactly what Miami kind of needs. They need someone like on defense. They need super athletic players that play with violence, and Arvell Reese fits that pedigree. I think like if you're looking for best player available, he is a definite possibility, and he would make life for Jordan Brooks so much easier because Jordan Brooks is having to do a lot because he's the only linebacker out there with a pulse sometimes. And he would offer that versatility because he's a great downhill player. He can do some stuff in coverage as well. Like I think there's still some development there in terms of like his instincts in coverage, but like he has like I've seen him match people very easily because of his athleticism and length. Definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Arvell Reese, Ohio State linebacker. Definitely keep an eye on that guy because he's very good. Another class that I like a lot of the top corners. Corner is a need for Miami. I don't know if it's going to be a huge need, but do they take a corner super early? They might feel, to go after more trench players, and I think that's understandable. But as I'm saying, BPA is always a high possibility. And I'm going to throw out a couple names here, but the first one I really want to talk about that I think has a very good shot of going top 10 is LSU corner Mansour Delane. He's been locked down this season. Very, very intelligent player, has such like good spatial awareness, very fluid athlete. Can play zone, can play man. He has great ball skills, tracking ability, route recognition, very willing to come downhill and tackle, like has a really good trigger to play the run or play screen, stuff like that. I think that's just so important nowadays to to be like a very aggressive physical corner. Like one of the best rookie corners this year is Jacob Parrish. If you guys followed me last year, you know Jacob Parrish is one of my favorite corner prospects. And he was a little undersized, but the guy was super physical. He's playing nickel for Tampa Bay. And he's like playing really good run defense, but also good coverage. You got to be sticky in coverage, which I think Delane is. So he has sticky coverage ability, and he's willing to come downhill and play in run support. I think that's just like what you need as NFL ability. There's a few other guys like, say, Avion Terrell from Clemson, Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. You know, he's had his injury, so I'm not sure where he'll be at. But there's some good corners in this class that, you know, Dolphins should definitely be looking at corner. I don't know if it will end up being first round, but as of right now, there's some names to know there. For sure. I think I talked about a lot of the main top guys I wanted. I think everyone else... Oh, yeah, before I get to quarterbacks, because we'll get to quarterbacks. Kenyon Sadiq. You know me. I love a tight end. I've been asking for the Dolphins to get a stud tight end for years. The stud tight end in this class is Kenyon Sadiq. He's from Oregon. Very good athlete. Was more so known for being like a very good athlete receiver. But, man, this guy has some of the most elite blocking tape you'll see from a college tight end. There's some inconsistencies at time. But, man, he has reps where, like, he is pushing guys back 10 yards and then finishing with a pancake block. And there's a lot of those reps on tape. And he has a lot of the traits you look for that just translate well for tight end. And tight end is a position. There are certain positions that I feel like sometimes I could struggle with. Like, I think O-line can be one of those harder positions to evaluate. Tight end has been the one that I feel like I've been most consistent on, like, every year. Like, Tyler Warren was my favorite guy last year. I knew Tyler Warren would instantly translate, and that's shown so far for the Colts. I knew Loveland would end up being a good player, but like I knew he would struggle to translate a bit more because for me, tight ends, it comes down to like the physicality of the game. Can you hold up to it? Physicality as a blocker and physicality in yak. And Sadiq, that's kind of where his game is predicated on. He's got also the speed to, you know, make plays some down the field and, you know, be a seam threat. I think one area I want to see improvement is like his ability to find soft spots versus zone. That's why I think Warren actually translates better than Sadiq as like a receiver right away, is because I think that's very important. Is like you're not asking to ask a tight end to get open versus man coverage a lot, just like instantly, especially at the NFL level. Usually you're going to find the rookie tight ends that are like guys that are really good at finding soft spots versus zone and then picking up yak after the fact. That's why Tyler Warren is so effective right away. And like Loveland, more of the man beater tight end. But like usually teams are like, oh, we're gonna, you know, we're getting man coverage, we're gonna throw it to our best receiver. Our tight end can be a mismatch. It's just those are more like rare occasions. Like those occasions just don't happen as much. The tight ends that are facing zone, it's just much more likely. It's you know, played at a much higher rate. That's why that translation happens at a higher rate. So definitely a tight end to keep an eye on there. He's someone I could see going top 10. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Then some quarterbacks. The quarterback class is tough because a lot of my top guys are guys that I think might not declare. But I think number one, because I think this guy is the most likely to declare, and he's kind of been the most consistent of the bunch, is from Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. He was a Cal transfer. I'm a big fan of his. I actually, before the season even started, I actually bet him to go first overall. So hopefully that hits. I got that odds at plus 6,000. Mendoza, good player, very intelligent quarterback, has good size to him, good arm talent, can make a lot of throws, very good poise, I think, which is important. He's able to go through reads, can make a lot of throws. He's someone that I think, you know, I don't know if I see a QB in this class that is like super high end, like, oh, this is going to be the next like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that I can see developing into like what you're seeing out of a lot of the best quarterbacks for the first 6 weeks of the season. Like, you know, guys playing like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, like those guys actually getting development in the right system. If you can get some of these guys in the right system with the right development, I can see a lot of them being like very good NFL quarterbacks. Get the team around him. You know, you see Jalen Hurts winning the Super Bowl. Like, he's not the best quarterback in the league. But these are quarterbacks that I think you can win with. And some of them I think you win because, and I think Mendoza's one. The sleeper, in my opinion, to go very high in this draft if he declares, is Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback. Had a really struggle week 1 versus Florida State in his first start as a college quarterback. And then since then, he's been such an upward trajectory. If he continues that trajectory and declares, I think he can go really, really high. Like, I really like his game. He makes plays on script and off script. He's not like a crazy athlete, but he's a good enough athlete with his mental traits that I think he can translate. Like his poise, anticipation, accuracy, all the things you look for in an NFL quarterback are there. Plus, he's got the arm talent. He's got enough athleticism with the other stuff that I talked about very clean mechanics, and just it makes a lot of big time throws. There's sometimes the pressure, I think he can either hold on to the ball a little bit too long, or maybe his throws can be a little bit off, but like his ability versus pressure has improved as the college season's gone on, which is big. And he's still young. This is his first time starting, and he's already showing this level. I just feel like the sky's the limit for him. I also like Dante Moore from Oregon. I know he just had a struggle game versus Indiana, but I want to see how he can bounce back because, college quarterbacks, you're going to have your struggles. They did a really good job scheming against him. We'll see how he bounces back. I also don't know if he'll declare either. And then Lenoris Sellers is another name to know. He's the super high-end traits guy that, you're going to have to give time to. But to me, Sellers is a guy I would be interested in depending on who the coach is for this team. If it's McDaniel, no. If it ends up being someone that I think fits with his skill set, then I'd be more intrigued. But I think I'm more so on the other guy's side that I think are high floor guys, with also some side like Mendoza, Simpson, even Dante Moore. Hopefully he can bounce back. But those are only really the guys that I can see going high in this class. So definitely a fan of some of these guys. Definitely keep an eye out. I think Ruben Bain is the best. I just made a video on him. If you guys really want if you want to see some draft film breakdowns, join us as a member because they're going to be like super early access. Because I might not start posting some of these draft videos for a while, and I'm going to really start making a lot of them now. I got a Makai Lemon video I'm about to make. He's the receiver from USC. I'm just making his video. Like, even though I don't think the Dolphins would have taken a player like him, he's just a player I really like Makai Lemon. Receiver, look at the top receiver. Look at the top receiving yards list leader for the season, and you'll see something about what the modern NFL receiver needs to be, and Makai Lemon shares a lot of those traits. That's why I got a guy like Lemon, even someone like Jordan Tyson, who's the other top receiver. You don't always need to be the craziest size or the best athlete at the position. A lot of nuance goes into receivers, and you'll see a lot of the guys at the top like JSN, Puka Nakua, Emeka Egbuka, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those types of players are some of the best receivers right now, performing at least through this year, and a lot of them are very intelligent, understand the pace, the tempo of routes, how to get open versus zone and man, and can make tough catches because you're not always going to be open. I think that fits the, just wanted to throw that out there, just to keep an eye on those videos coming out, But yeah, also down in the comments, let me know what you think of some of these guys. Give me names that you think that you really like, or give me names that you want to see for film breakdowns. Leave all the draft comments you want, anything you want to see, any takes, because it's very early in the process, and I don't really have any set in stone opinions yet. Obviously, because I haven't watched everyone. I've only watched a handful of players so far, and I only feel pretty confident, comfortable with my evaluation in a few of those. So we'll see how it kind of plays out. So much can change throughout this process. So much can evolve. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Until next time. Peace.